Well, we know who the contenders are now for the Republican presidential nomination, at least the ones that have already announced. And let's get an assessment from former House Majority Leader Dick Armey. Welcome to Newsmax again, Dick.
Oh, yeah, it's good to talk to you.
Let's get a quick one-sentence take, if you will, on the GOP presidential contenders. Let's begin with Tim Pawlenty.
Well, Tim Pawlenty, I think, is trying very hard to be the person that he knows we in this country need him to be. And I think he understands what he needs to be in terms of a bona fide, reliable, a constitutionally limited small government conservatives. I think Governor Pawlenty understands he needs to get to that point, and I think he's working very hard to convince people that that's where the point to which he's gotten.
Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney's problem is President Obama passed Obamacare. Having done so, he's made it virtually impossible for Mitt Romney to find any ground on which he can stand.
Except to say, perhaps, I was wrong.
Well, maybe he could say that, but it doesn't look like he's disposed to do that.
How about Herman Cain? Fresh face.
Well, that's an interesting new phrase. We all like Herman. We all are aware of his many accomplishments. We know he's a reliable guy. What we haven't seen with Herman is him actually out on the campaign trail. And as we've seen in New York, this campaigning business is no cakewalk, and you got to be able to demonstrate that you can actually get your votes out there on the trail. So we're all excited and pleased for Herman, and looking forward to watching him race and hoping that, in fact, that he can demonstrate that he's got the ability on the campaign trail to actually pull his load and pull it through.
The fact that he's been a very successful businessman, that speaks pretty well for a presidential candidate, doesn't it?
It certainly does, especially in the fact that in light of where we are now with probably the most proven incompetent person we've ever seen in the White House, it's a very big and exciting thing to see somebody like Herman who says, I'm willing to take on the difficulties of this job, and I've got a proven record of actually having done things in my life.
How about Michelle Bachmann?
Well, Michelle Bachmann is clearly a reliable conservative, and she certainly has a great appeal with an awful lot of people in the conservative movement. Once again, I think her test is getting out there on the campaign trail and demonstrating that she can actually, pull the ball over the line.
Sarah Palin.
Sarah Palin is an interesting person. Again, we know she's a fairly effective campaigner. She got a lot of appeal, but I think the big question mark with Sarah Palin is, does in fact the governor intend to make the run? There seems to be a lot of doubt and confusion about that.
All right, Libertarian Ron Paul.
Ron's been campaigning a lot of years. He's certainly got a lot of people who are loyal to him and appreciative of his point of view. But again, I think it is an uphill climb for Ron, and it always has been. So I'm curious to see how it'll be for him this time.
Well, you're both Texans. How do they view him there in the Lone Star State?
Well, he gets elected to Congress, but I always was acutely aware of the fact that I had a congressional seat that after years of service I couldn't lose, but I was never tempted to run for Senate because I knew very well that if I tried to run statewide, I wouldn't win. The fact of the matter is, when you've done as much as I've done on so many fronts, especially that offends the big government liberals, it's oftentimes pretty hard to run outside of that narrowly conceived district in which you find yourself so highly well accepted.
And that, of course, a reference to Ron Paul support, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I mean, Ron. Again, the question is, what is the range? How far can he go?
And finally, your former colleague, Newt Gingrich.
Well, Newt's, I think, shown amazingly bad judgment in the past couple of days or past week or so. And it's really, frankly, amazed me. Newt is a good politician. He's an able politician, and for him to have taken on Paul Ryan with such graphic language, it just amazed me. I just cannot quite fathom what in the world was he thinking. But I think he's put himself in a pretty seriously bad, deep hole.
Former House Majority Leader and Chairman of Freedom Works, Dick Armey, thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.